Yeah, it is. Okay, good. I was like, did I put that in the right ing? All right, cool. All right, guys. Hello, welcome to Table Flip. This is going to be episode 32. We are live streaming this show, which we will be doing every 2 weeks, Saturdays at 11 a.m. That way, it's about 4 p.m. in the European areas. So, trying to get that little, I guess, evened time zone mapping. I have no idea. Whatever. But you can see our faces now if you guys want to join us live
Whoa.
on Saturdays, which is also kind of creepy, but whatever. I'm Patrick. That's Nick. That's Matt. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Hi, everybody.
Don't everyone
oh
talk
man,
at
that
once.
delay gets. I'm gonna close. Not
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah.
class. That delay confuses me.
Yeah, I was about to say don't watch the
Yeah,
stream.
don't watch the stream.
It's about a 30-second delay just for those servers. So, but we have
Or if
spoilers and whatnot. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, if you're into Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams.
There you go. There you go. See, I never understood that because they eventually did, and nothing imploded. Like they just killed
Well,
the
so
boss.
it's the risk of complete proton reversal. That's why they don't want to do it. Is because it could create a singularity that would
Well, right, but
negate existence.
Something reversed the polarity. Oh no,
Yeah,
now I'm in Doctor Who.
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I've never
But,
actually watched Doctor Who.
oh, really? It's actually a pretty good show. I mean, besides the fact that like season one is good, but you got to get first past the first season, or else
Mm.
you're just gonna be like screw. Like I've watched the first season like 4 or 5 times and never got past it. And then me and my wife started watching it, and we're on like season 6, and we're like, this show's awesome. So, but let's talk about some cool stuff here.
Yes.
Um,
Star
it's
Wars, that other
yeah,
sci-fi thing.
Star Wars. Darth BS, I know the Twitch app is completely broken. It does not work half the time. So, yeah, I guess Twitch is supposedly aware of this, but it's just not. It'll probably never actually get fixed because Twitch is awesome like that. So that's all right. We have spoilers we're going to talk about the Navy spoilers, which is just a very odd set, but I think that it'll definitely help out the Navy. We're going to be talking about some of the decks that we've been playing and looking at some of the meta changes that have been going on, and also, we're going to talk about Matt's ridiculous collection of playmats. But
They just keep coming.
they do. You're just like, I just keep winning. I can't stop it. First world problems. That's all right. But Nick,
I
how have
just
you
need.
been?
I've been busy. Half the reason we haven't recorded in such a long time is June is the busiest time for my job. I work pretty much 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. most days.
Gosh.
So it gets really, really busy. So we haven't been able to really find a good schedule, but that should change now for the summer. And I'm looking forward to it. I actually just started teaching one of my coworkers how to play,
Nice.
and they are actually very good. I'll have to say this, for a beginner, he really got the concept of playing out everything in his hand as much as possible,
Hmm.
which really worked for him. I was just playing the stock starter deck for the Empire,
Right.
and I gave him sort of the greatest hits of the smugglers and spies. So he had Han Solo, and he had a few other things, and I actually threw in rumors at the Cantina for him just so that he could get over the resource matching, because it's kind of a hard concept
Right.
early on to learn. And it was quite a tough combination. He had a couple objectives down before I got the dial up, only because he would literally play out almost every card in his hand, and he sort of got over that towards the end, saving things for edge battles, etc. But it was a very interesting teaching moment, so
Awesome.
I
That's
enjoyed it.
cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, no, I know Matt that you've just gotten done moving, and
Yeah, you can still see the boxes back behind me.
You can see them in the back of the.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's funny because Matt actually moved to where I live, Ohio, and so we're like card buddies now, I guess. So
Huzzah.
huzzah! And we just got done talking to our local card game store about doing our weekly little card game. I guess Schwarwa, whatever you want to call it.
It's game night, except it's at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, so game afternoon.
Game afternoon.
The
But,
poster
yeah.
definitely says game night on
It
it.
does. It does. But if you guys are if anyone's in the Ohio area, we meet every Sunday at 2 o'clock. at Checkmate Games. If you want any more information, just hit us up on Twitter or ask on our Facebook. By the way, we have a Twitter at Tableflip Show and Facebook at Tableflip Show. I believe that's our Facebook as well. I never.
I think it's
one
Table
of them
Flip
is
Podcast.
Yeah.
It's the Facebook is Table Flip Podcast, and I just want to point out.
Change that.
Well, since I moderate most of it, welcome to the few new people who have joined us in the last few weeks, and just to give a shout out to some of our sister groups. We have the LCG Victoria group down in Australia, and then also the DFW Dagobah Denizens, which is one of the groups that we also coordinate with. And, of course, all of the other groups that we mention from week to week. We really appreciate being able to work with you guys and appreciate your support and supporting the game. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely thank you for all the cool stuff. Why didn't that link work? Gosh darn it. All right. Well, Matt, what has your week been like other than moving?
I take things out of boxes and I put them where they go. It's been nice. I actually got some real life games in instead of Octagon here.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta say that was nice.
Yeah, the closest game store where I was in Tennessee was about half an hour away, and that is closest game store, not closest game store where people played.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several people who kind of sort of played Star Wars, but what they really played was X-Wing. Like they'd have huge turnouts for X-Wing, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I have some Star Wars cards too." But they played X-Wing and Game of Thrones, so I had to drive 2 hours for X-Wing tournaments. That former host Nate, if you guys remember him, he was about 2 hours away there. So nice. It's nice to be here. It's 20 minutes to the game store instead of 30. That's
nice.
That's an improvement, and they've been very supportive in the 1 week I've been here.
Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts. But they were supportive when we first started out too, and then they're just kind of like, meh, whatever. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's going to be good if we can.
Yeah.
Again, anyone who's anywhere near Toledo and wants to come out, Checkmate Games at 2 p.m. every Sunday. This week, we have all my extra alternate art Han Solos, which are once again courtesy of Nate. And
Nate's awesome.
Anyone who comes, Han Solo. Up to the first 13 people. I do have a limited supply.
It's not unlimited, but
yes.
All right. So let's talk about our spoilers real quick, because the set itself is interesting. I'm going to throw up the objective set here for the viewers. And what was your guys' initial impressions when you first actually saw this? Nick, we'll start with you.
So I got to see these before Matt and Patrick, actually, so I'm going to kind of revel in that for a minute. My initial response was to continually do the line from Empire Strikes Back where Vader goes, Captain Piet, and then he's like, blah, 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 Admiral Piet, because I think that's just so funny and such a well-written scene.
Yeah.
But in terms of what the actual set does, I think this is a really great mechanism to make the edge battle a focus, or at least something that the Navy does not fall behind in. So we've seen early on from Smugglers and Spies and other, the factions, that they have a great advantage in terms of fate cards.
Mm-hmm.
So this now is a fate-centric deck, or set, sorry. And then it also has, a major unit who comes with 3 health, and even though he has the 5 cost, that allows you to bolster the edge battle by attaching fate cards to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, then you have the Admiral's Assault, which allows you to pull things from your discard pile, i.e. fate cards. And then you have also the, the Hoth reinforcements, where you chain that with Battle of Hoth. So I think this is a really great deck or set. I keep saying deck. I don't know why that, because I want to include it in a deck. Yeah.
Same thing.
So I think it's a really great, set to include, simply because now you're changing the focus of the scenario against your opponent, because if you have Admiral Piet out there and you have the appropriate defenders with him,
Hmm.
and you can win those edge battles by playing the fake cards, you're sort of, buttering your own bread, because
Right.
now you've won the fate, or you've won the edge battle with the fake cards. You attach them. Now the edge battle for the next time becomes even, more difficult to
Hmm.
overcome. And you have to say to the other player, okay, well, now I will win all edge battles from here on out.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, giving the Navy an edge boost is really really good, and of course we will show the rest of the card sets as we go on. But Matt, what was your initial impression of the set?
It is a really strange set. Um, it, I like what it's doing. I'm not sure how I'm going to work it in. Um, I think despite being the vehicle set, Navy is gaining a bunch of characters that are in the once they hit table they have to die now list.
Yeah,
Um,
which
Piet,
is good because
yeah,
it really pressures the light side to target units and not target objectives.
yeah, Piet has to die now. Mahdi is always,
Hmm.
yeah, when he's on table, he's target number one for
Yep.
your targeted strike. Um, Veer's similar thing with how much he boosts all the other defenders. Um, you know, all of those Navy officers have a great ability that Tarkin, even though he doesn't see much play, if he is on table, you want him dead. All of these Navy officers and
I'm almost tempted to run him now because we have a lot of really really good uh, kind of units that kind of culminate with the rest of the Navy set.
yeah,
But I mean, like running two of him just doesn't seem right to me because one, you get that stupid card that literally doesn't do anything, but you can search your deck for a Navy card. Like, I get that. I get you're trying to like search for certain events, but man, the rest of that card just is awful. The engineer, whatever he's called,
yeah,
that has
he has
zero
shielding.
icon. Yeah, he has shielding, but zero icons. Like, I
Yes.
understand the point, but I don't understand the point. But first, let's talk about the objective. Admiral Assault. It's a 5 for 1, which is pretty standard. It's a Hoth objective, which is really really useful. Um, and then its reaction. After this objective enters play, return the topmost fate card in your discard pile to your hand. That's huge, especially if you're running a lot of really good fate cards. Now, of course the reaction once it enters play, it's kind of a
a
double-edged
one-off.
sword. Yeah, it's really just
Well,
kind
it's
of
a
a
one-off.
yeah. So I mean, it's useful, but it's I would prefer it to be like damages this objective to return the topmost fate card to your hand, or something a little bit more useful than just the one-off.
Well, this is definitely an objective you don't want to see in your first flop. You
No.
want this. This is the card you want when you see your opponent put the smugglers and spies affiliation card out, and then you go, okay, well, here we go. This is where he gets Han Solo first turn or
Right.
something like that, or Falcon, Falcon Lando, and then they blow up an objective, and then you flip this, and then it becomes an uphill battle for the other player.
Yeah. Well, especially if you get like an extra target of opportunity or battle of Hoth or even a twist of fate if you're running recon.
Hmm.
Matt, any like weird tricks that you might be able to do with this objective set?
Um, I mean, the problem is you have no control over the timing of its
Right.
ability. Um, Kind of, sort of true. I mean, that you can really pull up a convoluted combo to get control of the timing using deploy the fleet and um, the what is it? Watching eye the scum version of slicing in that just came out. I can't remember the name.
Oh, hang on. I have the
The one with
cards.
Witten.
Yeah, I have my cards in my hand.
Oh,
Watchful
Watchful.
eyes.
I was close.
Yeah.
So you could use Watchful Eyes and um, deploy the fleet to set up it to come in when you want it to.
Hmm.
But if it comes in at the beginning of the game, it's a blank objective.
Yeah.
If it comes in too early in the game, you might not have a fate card in your discard pile yet. Though
Hmm.
the rest of the set will help with that. Um, and if it comes in too late in the game, you might be too far behind. It in general, I don't like reactions after this objective enters play.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unless they have a total like game-breaking effect.
You mean like the new smuggler
Scum, I think
the new scum objective? After this objective enters play, destroy all units in play.
Yes. If you're going to have a after this objective enters play, that basically gives you a blank objective for the rest of the time.
Right. Which I mean,
well,
is
better be that big of an effect.
Yeah.
But think of it this way. I mean, that scum objective, say you've now put out a really great, panoply of units, and, you have Boba Fett with armor and a gun, and the blaster and everything like that.
And his flamethrower.
And then all of a sudden you flop that. Okay, well, game over for you. You just ruined your own,
No, it's not forced.
Well, yeah, true.
So
that is true.
You just flipped a blank objective. So again, after objective interplay effects are okay, but I don't think this one's quite strong enough. I would like it a little more if it was any fate card in your discard pile instead of just the topmost. But it's not bad. It's Hoth. It synergizes great with the rest of the set.
Yeah, no, it does. All right, so
it's not the part of the set I'm excited about, though.
Let's talk about the rest of the set here. Admiral Piet is on screen now to the left, and he is a 5-cost, 2 Force Icons, 3 HP unit with 1 black unit damage and 1 edge unit damage, and he is a Sith unit. And he is a character officer. He reads...
By Sith you mean Navy, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been I'm tired. He reads, while this unit is attacking during the edge battle. I'm sorry. While this unit is attacking during the edge battle, resolve the effects and count force icons of each attached fate card as if it were in your edge stack. So that's basically what the Rebels one does. The card that the Rebels have, right?
Well, I mean, his reaction is what's important. So it's after you discard a fate card not named Twist of Fate from your edge stack, attach it to this unit. So after you have you play an edge stack with fate cards in it, they then get attached to Admiral Piet, and then what happens is when he goes into battle, he then adds whatever attached edge enabled edge icons, the force icons, as part of his edge stack. So I mean, you could have 2 or 3 cards attached to him, and now you don't even have to play an edge stack.
I completely missed that.
You stack a couple of Battle of Hoths on him, and
he can't
all of a sudden
he
has 9 free edge icons and removes 3 damage from your objectives every time he attacks.
Well,
and he can't be twisted because and there's a new edge stack, and those get added in. Like the light side can't twist him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the fact that, I mean, you don't count those fate cards because they're attached to him. It's just that they get the icons from them. So you want those high number value ones. Yeah,
and the effects. Yeah, I mean that's even putting.
Oh yeah, and the effects.
Even putting a heated battle and a battle Hoth of them, that gives them edge 5. I mean, edge 5, a damaging Hoth or heal your Hoth objectives, and an extra unit damage. Now, the only problem is he has 3 HP. Now, his 5 cost is completely justified. I would definitely agree with that. Matt, your webcam's a little dark, by the way. And you're also muted.
Sorry.
Right, you're good.
I don't have much I can do about the dark, unfortunately, other than open the blinds back up, which will really horribly backlight me.
All right, that's fine. So, I mean, like... He's good, but he's too much of a target to let live, so he might work 1 or 2 turns. But maybe that's all that's really all you need for the game. I mean, to me, yeah. I mean, Yoda Man says in chat, Chewie's probably going to see even more play to counter Piat, which is actually a really, really good statement. But if he has 1 heat of battle on him and a couple other edge cards, Chewie can't do anything. Because Chewie will just automatically die.
Well, that 1 heat of battle, Chewie will fling back at him for 2 damage.
No, that's true.
And
you're gonna. He's a rebel assault target. I mean, really?
Yeah.
He's a rebel assault. Sacrifice your fighters.
Han.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally just whatever you can pull out to get rid of him
Hmm.
is what is going to happen. Like, this will be one of those ones where it's like, I don't have to use this all the time, but when Admiral Piet comes out, now you have to focus him, and I can do whatever I need to over here to really sway you from doing anything else.
Now, the big problem with him is his ability only works when he is attacking.
Yeah, well, it'd be
And
kind of stupid if it
right,
wasn't just when he was
well,
attacking.
and he has no blast damage.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
So,
like this is a pure support set for Navy.
yeah,
I mean, it's like it has 3 fate cards in it for goodness sake, and then it has the next card we'll talk about real quick. Quick, wow,
hmm
quick is where is it? Hoth
Hoth Reinf-
reinforcements. It's a 2-cost, 1 force icon, 1 HP card with a white enabled blast objective damage. Reaction after the Battle of Hoth. Fate card resolves. Put this unit into play from your discard pile. So, I mean, if you're running a Navy deck, you're generally going to have a lot of Battle of Hoth in there, so you might as well just throw them in the edge battle, resolve the Fate card,
hmm
and then hopefully next turn you can use them again. So it's
have a battle of Hoth on Piet.
yeah.
It resolves every time he attacks.
Yeah, like the synergy is really good there, but I don't know. It's an interesting unit. I'm not sure if I would really run this set in anything because the other cards I'll just show up on screen here real quick. Quick. Wow, brain. Battle of Hoth, Heat of Battle, and Seeds of Decay. So, I mean it's a really interesting concept for the objective itself. But Nick, how would you run this in a deck?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just maybe a one-off, or I like to put two of everything in. That's just the way I like to play. I like to have the same cards coming through.
Right.
But you know, I, I see it just as if you're encountering a lot of opponents, and I guess you have to know your meta, you know, where edge battles become primarily important.
Hmm.
This can really change the focus of what your opponent has to do or what they have to respond to, and it shifts the Navy away. And to be honest, like, I'm probably a little bit more dated than everyone else because of the new decks coming out and things like that. But it takes Navy away from being like a DPS race where it's like, okay, I'm going to put out walkers, or I'm going to put out, a bunch of stormtroopers, and now it's going to be who can slug the most damage each turn back and forth, and
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And I honestly think this is kind of an answer to the prominence of the edge abilities of smugglers and spies. And I
Hmm.
think that's where you see a lot of these cards coming out, is that like smugglers and spies was so great with the Millennium Falcon and all the other things that came out in Edge of Darkness, that now it's like the rest of the factions are catching up. And I think
Yeah.
that's why Jedi have gotten so much attention, and now Navy's getting attention, and Sith have kind of always been good, so we don't need to touch them. But this is, I think, a build up for the Navy.
No, I would definitely agree. Um, Matt, how would you run this in a deck?
I think this is asking to be in a Hoth deck, obviously.
Right.
Um, maybe, uh, full disclosure, Patrick just sent me the spoilers about an hour ago. So, um,
That's my fault.
That's all
that's
right.
you get my fresh thoughts.
Yeah.
So you get this, um, maybe Veers, Walkers. I mean, Navy and Hoth, you have a lot of tricks. You can go with Sabotage in the Snow, um, and you have lots of ways you can get tons of copies of Battle of Hoth, and you then just don't die. You could consider, instead of running, you could consider doing like a splash Navy and run
Hmm.
Sith, the Sith Hoth stuff, and have um, make it even harder to kill everything.
Okay.
I there, yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, it's funny because
I'm really not sure. It
yeah,
it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick set,
it is very gimmicky.
but gimmick doesn't make it bad.
No.
Gimmick just makes it interesting in this case. Where exactly do I go?
Yeah,
Um,
it's something. Well, it's funny because Matt's like, I don't really know what to say because no one really like. I'm looking at this and going, okay, like I would almost put this in a Sith deck. Like,
yeah,
like I would almost put this in a Sith deck just to have Admiral Piet there to be protected. I mean, and and like being able to attach force cards or cards to him, and then just having, yeah, I'm gonna have Palpatine and Vader go in with targeted strike, and you have a rage in your hand, and Admiral Piet comes in, boom, you have 5 edge to start out with, and the light side player has 3 cards in hand. Yeah, maybe they're gonna have a twist, but guess what? They're gonna twist your non-existent fate cards, and they're not gonna be able to do anything. So
yeah.
I would almost argue that this has to go in a Sith deck because it's more of a control play style.
Now, one interesting thing, speaking of the light side twisting, is Admiral Piet gets fate cards whether or not he's in the edge battle. And it doesn't matter if they resolve or not. If you discard them um, from an edge stack, which would include, I think, if it gets twisted,
Hmm.
because you
Hmm.
discarded the edge stacks and start a new edge battle.
Hmm.
So, you're if he's in the engagement, even the edge cards you lay in the edge stack are twist proof. And
Yeah,
if
that
he's not in
yeah.
the engagement, yeah, they might twist your heat of battle, but it just goes to Admiral Piet or
Hmm.
for the next round.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he makes an interesting splash into the Sith Hoth or Navy Hoth, and you could you could run it without the Hoth and just say, well, I have this um, the Battle of Hoth. That's 3 icons. 3 icons is good.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll be a really interesting way to really make sure that you're winning the edge battle. But man, even this would even work in like a really really good Scum deck too, because Scum have trouble at winning the edge as well. So like being able to just completely keep cards there would be interesting, and Scum are able to control the board with tactics. So like. I'm not even sure that this would really work in a Navy deck. Like, I don't think that this is really like maybe just a one-off, but I honestly feel that it's not Navy deck material because like even the newer one that we got that was reinforcements in the new force pack is still all about like damage and pushing through things, and the one that we got now is just pure support, and I really think that it's more just suited in more of a control style deck. I mean, I don't know.
Now, speaking of that last set, it had Echoes of the Force, if I remember right, as a
Yes, it
fate
does.
card.
Yes, it does. Echoes of the Force.
So which means Navy actually now has more copies of Echoes of the Force than anyone else
Hmm.
because it's been in 2 of their sets, and now they have Seeds of Decay as well. Now, there's some fun for you if you get Piet with a couple of copies of Echoes and Seeds on him. He can commit and then put focus tokens on people, kind of willy-nilly.
Oh yeah,
He'd be like,
that's
"Oh,
a
none of your defenders are committed. Here's a couple of forced cards and focus token with them."
yeah. I like this set just really confuses me. I'm just like, and when that's good though because it's not a set that you can just look at and go, oh well, this clearly works with this. It's huh that that's a new way to kind of look at things.
But isn't that how it should be? I mean,
Yeah, it
it
is.
shouldn't be, oh my gosh, like another one of the same kind of set that we've had 4 packs ago or
Yeah.
in the original box. Like, I like those new things. I like,
Hmm.
how sacrificing became a big deal with the Executor. I like how, we changed things with Battle of Hoth and speeder decks.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always reached these kind of checkpoints in the game every few packs or every
Hmm.
few expansions where it really changes sort of an operational thing. And
Mm.
I think one of the discussions we were having in getting set up for the show, which might be a good segue, is, how far can we really push this game or how far can FFG push the game if they continue to, put or will they run out of different types of ways to play the game or put in new mechanics that keep the game fresh?
Hmm.
And I think eventually they may run out, but I'm glad to see something like this that really shifts the focus away from, like you said, Patrick and Matt, you also recognize this, Navy being damage, push through, shield on this. Let me boost the effectiveness of walkers and go forward. So
yeah, and you can't really. I mean, you're limited in how much objective damage you can give Navy sets because they already have good blast damage. If making interchangeable sets,
Right.
Well, I can run these Star Destroyers with their blast damage, or these Star Destroyers with which also have blast damage. But I've run out of room to run both of them, and they become indistinguishable. So you have these support sets that allow you to tailor how your aggressive deck works. You know, aggressive deck running Piet is going to look at doing weird things with fate cards that a deck without him, a deck running Sabotage in the Snow is looking at what can it do with shields, and they both might play aggressive, let's go blow stuff up, but they play very differently, and I think that's what we're getting here. I still want my TIE Fighter deck, but we have like. I feel like the core set left us hanging on the TIE Fighter still, but oh well.
Yeah, it's
Black Squadron Assault.
It's funny. I actually still try and fit that set into different things every once in a while because I remember the first time I played the game is I used his reaction and flipped up Palpatine and locked my opponent down. And he was like, "Man, that's like the most broken card ever." And I'm like, "I know, it's great." And then the next time I used it, I flipped it up and got a Twist of Fate, and I was like, "Damn it, that doesn't work at all." So
yeah,
I mean, it's
anyway.
Yeah,
I digress. But
no, yeah, it's a really, really odd set, and I think that we are going to see a really interesting meta shift just from this set, mainly because it allows the dark side to really kind of bolster that edge battle, something that they've already had a huge bolster with. So it'll be interesting to see how the light side can actually come back and say, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to effectively counter Admiral Piet? Now, one thing that can counter it is the Smuggler card. I think it's Over My Dead Body. When a unit does an action, pay the cost of the event, and it cancels that action. So that
does
could
it work on reactions too? I don't remember off the top of my head.
You know what? I don't think it does. I think it's just no. You know what? No, it's just an action. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
Darn it! Darn it! It was like the perfect. It's like, yes, Lando's viable now. Woo! Oh, never mind. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lando can knock him out of a.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess
he's not elite. He would not like being committed to the Force with
Right.
echoes. He's, and he only works when attacking. So if he's not going to be around to defend, and if he is around to defend, you're not getting any benefit from all those edge cards placed on him. So, he swings in and then you drop Han and he's dead.
Yeah.
Or you drop anyone with tactics and he's not attacking again.
No,
now,
yeah, I would definitely agree
there's
with
always ways around that. There's the Dark Trooper project. There's Mahdi. There's always an answer. So, but he's very good. He's a card that has to be dealt with when he hits the table, but there are ways to deal with him. And I would argue that if you're paying 5 for a card, he better be a card that as soon as he hits the table, your opponent goes, "Oh, I need to figure out what I'm going to do about him."
Yeah.
So, I think he fits that.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just it's just a weird set. When I Nick, when
where to go from there, I don't know.
Yeah, like when you shared it with me, I was like, okay, that's different. But anyway, let's continue on with some deck discussion here. Now, Nick, I know that you've been extremely busy with like your work and everything last month. So have you been able to pick up any of the new Force packs at all, or have you?
Well, like I said earlier, I've kind of dated myself. I haven't been able to really pick up much stuff, and I got to make a trip over there. But
Telling you, dude,
I've been
you use Team Covenant.
I know. I really
You
should.
really should. They're awesome. Like Matt got his like a day before they were supposed to be released or something.
No, it ended up coming in Friday. I mean, Team Covenant got, I think they got their stock in like Wednesday, had it in the mail then. By the time it ships from Oklahoma to here, it's 2 days.
Mhm.
So,
That's still a great turnaround time.
it
Yeah,
was
they're awesome.
released Thursday. Some people had it Wednesday. I think some people online might have even had it Tuesday.
Mhm.
But you know, I I almost always get it before the weekend,
Mhm.
which they came out, which is great because that's usually when tournaments are. So I'm never sitting there like, the Force Pack came out and I don't have it yet. I'm at a huge disadvantage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
this game has stayed fairly well balanced, and you could probably play behind a Force Pack and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably still put together core set only decks, especially for Darkside, that I could take to a tournament and feel pretty comfortable with.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Do I think they're the best
yeah.
deck? No, because that's not what I'm running.
Mhm.
If I thought that was the best deck, that's what I'd be using. But I
Yeah.
think, even using Matt Cole's deck from Gen Con and Worlds last year, that was
Still
all
pretty
core
viable.
set.
Yeah.
I think I could take that to a tournament and win games.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to see that the card pool is starting to really flourish a little bit, and get some really cool decks out there, and not everyone's just running. Oh, we're gonna run Smuggler's Caverns, woo, or everyone's gonna run Sleuths, and everyone's gonna run the same Dark Side deck. We're really starting to see a lot of really good diversity with Smugglers and with Scum. Like we're even seeing some Scum decks do really well, which is really encouraging. Now, personally, Scum decks for me, I don't think are as consistent as Sith Control. So I like if I'm gonna run a deck, I want it to be super consistent. So like I don't want to run the risk of, oh man, I never got this card or these few flips, so my Scum deck didn't do very well, or I never saw a lucrative contract guy. And like I feel that still maybe holds the Sith back just a little bit, but I think once we get the deluxe set for this year, it's going to be awesome.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see Jedi and Scum do some pretty cool stuff. I mean, even now, even we got some cool stuff with the new set for Scum. We got the new Yoda with the new Force Pack, which is just fantastic. And the set comes with a resource, guys. Comes with a resource. I'm so excited about that. A Jedi set that comes with a resource. That's awesome. It's so awesome.
That's 2 for 3 this cycle.
I know. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, what? But so the decks that we've been seeing so far are a lot of solo Scum decks, which is generally lucrative contracts, Jabba, and then Feynman's Intuition, and then it just kind of varies from there. Like that seems to be like the core setup of solo Scum right now. Then we have on the dark side, obviously everyone's running Palpatine, Mara Jade, Vader, Jarek. There's been a couple people running the newer one. What's the newer one called?
Plan of the Prophetess.
Yeah,
I'd say that's actually seeing a little more play than Jarek right now.
Yeah, I'm torn if I want to take Jarek out of my deck or not.
Yeah. Well, you did kind of wreck me with a couple of well-timed Force.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, you were playing a speeder
Against-
deck, and that's not very consistent. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the one deck that really, really doesn't want to see Force Storm because nothing is committed.
no. Well, you can't commit anything, or else you just put yourself behind so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the worst part was, Nick, is he had like the best opening. He put down red 5 in home 1. He damaged my objectives, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna force storm this turn, and then he puts out a couple units. I leave Jarek on defense, kill home 1, and then he puts out a couple more units. Like, how many units did you put out? Like,
I flooded the board pretty well, but
and then I just force stormed again, and he was like, well, I can't do anything. So,
and
like,
then I got out like 3 things, and you're like, oh, and here's my Palpatine. I'm like,
It
I
happens.
needed to hit. I needed to hit earlier and faster, but
yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting concept. Now, the one deck that I really thought was really interesting, Nick and Matt, was the deck pre-named the what the hell is it called? The Gamor run, which is the default uses 2 Falcon, 2 Chewie, 2 Han, and two a dash, and then the two Gamor. Now,
Yeah.
Hmm.
the different variations are we've seen Flip the Force take out Han and put in Luke. There's been some discussion saying that, well, Han is better because we have Swindled, we have Crossfire, and then, but I mean,
Right.
Luke has targeted strike. Luke, well, obviously Han
And a
does,
resource.
and a resource. Well, I mean, Han has a resource too, though.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like,
I'd almost wonder about taking Dash out instead of Han.
yeah. I mean, I've toyed with that, but like the deck that I'm running only has one dash. I added two Lukes. I removed Han, replaced Luke with Han, and then I'm also running Undercover Dealings, which is interesting because it gives the deck a little bit more board control because you have the what's the card called? The one that allows you to do the make the event your event. If like say someone tried to force lightning, you could force lightning somebody else. I'm trying to find it here.
Oh yeah.
Narrow Escape.
That's right. Yes.
And then we have the Shadow Operative, which is a 1/1, which is fine. I mean, force choke bait, that's cool. But I mean, I think that we're going to see a lot of really good objective sets that haven't been used in the past, really kind of used in deck building. And you know, Matt, what you said, I think that having Dash out and putting Han in might actually be the way to go. Because when I was playing against you, I didn't see Dash once, and holding all the cards really didn't do anything for me.
It gave me a nice edge hand.
Yeah, I mean, it gave you a nice edge hand. Flip the Force said Luke's Twi'lek comes back with hyperspace, and you know
That's true.
that is really really good. That's actually a good point. So I'm almost inclined to actually take out Dash and put in Han because Han's just so good. I mean, he has just all these awesome reactions.
You end up with a little more resources that way. I'm not sure the deck needs resources, but
Well, to be fair, you did kind of resource starve me with your stupid capturing crap.
yes, I need all your resources.
You
That's true.
did. It was like, you jerk, why?
Yeah.
Flip, I actually want to ask you a question in chat. I actually have yet to use Hyperspace Marauder, mainly because I've found that he's better for an edge card because I mean, Lightside isn't really known for having three force clips. So if you just put one down and say pass, you know, most players will think you're either twisting or you're trying to pull some weird shenanigans. So like I've found that the four resources better suited off to use, say, Han or something else. But I mean, then again, I mean he's useful in the fact that he has if you win the force struggle, you can put a permanent cost of one or lower into play from your discard pile. That's also really useful. He said turn one is a great card after that. ... That's true. Nick, what have you been reading so far?
So, I mean, obviously, I've been going back to the core set and stuff like that. I'm teaching someone else the game, so I've been pulling out old stuff and not playing with the new stuff since I haven't been able to pick up most of it. But you know, I like where everything is going with the changes that they're making to the game. I like the new inclusions. I like the new characters. You know, I'm more into the fanciness of the lore and the art and stuff like that, and I'm continually impressed by that.
Awesome. Have you tried to put in any like really weird objective sets in your deck theory and crafting as of late? Like I've tried to add like what is it? The Tatooine objective. I don't even remember the name. No one uses it.
Hmm.
But I mean, like, have you used any weird ones as of late?
I mean, so I've been teaching mostly, and I've in teaching my friend the game. So I put in Rumors at the Cantina, and it helps him with the resource matching at least. So you know what happens is it said, okay, you can play it this way where you don't have to adhere to that, but this
Right.
is what you would probably want to do if you had to adhere to that rule. So I mean, I've been including stuff like that, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out along with the next couple upcoming packs, as well as whether we're going to get that Bosch objective set that I've always wanted in
I
the new expansion.
was
So
gonna say, I think someone saw Bosch in a card fan for the deluxe. So,
Yeah, I think it's if you look at the on the FFG website and you look in the article and you see like the border or like the heading they put, you can
right.
see in the top right hand corner there's like a purple or pinkish background Bosch looking card,
Hmm.
and I'm like, that's not the Bosch art from the challenge decks. That's a completely new picture, and I'm like, oh man, maybe talking with Zoe, which if you haven't heard is one of the episodes we had a few episodes back. She's the director of art for the game.
Right.
I was saying this is the set I want. It's Bosch. It's called Fearless and Inventive. It centers around using the thermal detonator and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm hoping that we get that.
Hmm. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Matt, have you tried anything extremely weird, like with just like weird core set stuff, or like things where you're like, well, this doesn't make any sense, and you're like, holy crap, this works.
Um, I don't know that I have a great story there for you. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you disappoint me.
I'm pretty disappointing. I'll give you that much.
No, you're awesome.
But
That's all right.
the you know I've gotten a bit behind on kind of some of the competitive decks, so I've mostly been looking over the regional reports and building those decks and trying them out, and um, yeah, all the fun stuff that you can do there. And there's been some interesting decks through the regionals, and you know, Flip has done some really nice write-ups.
Yeah, they have. I
And
mean, I've really started to use their forums and website a lot more now. They've done a great job at really getting some really hard hitting information out there. The community is a lot, I think, more friendlier than some of the other communities we have around for the game. So I definitely would suggest starting to kind of go over to there, and like everyone's really friendly, super helpful. So
all right, and then just to go back to Bosch, because I multitasked and pulled up the mini site. There's definitely a Bosch card and a card fan on the Between the Shadows mini site with Boba Fett and Yoda. And
Mm.
about all I can make out is 2 cost, 2 health, 2 force icons, a normal objective damage, a normal tactics, some traits. I'm assuming one of them is character. Can't really make out all of them.
yeah,
And some sort of text that,
some sort of text. When
yeah,
this card
some,
enters play, text something. Text.
yeah, can't quite make it out. But I mean, even if that was a blank card, that's a good card.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's. I think we're really going to see that meta just go from Sith control to Jedi smuggler to scum navy possibly, or like it'll just be really interesting to see how things really progress in the way that the meta is shifting. I'm really excited because like a lot of people know that I was kind of disappointed in the game for a while, and once all the new stuff started coming out, I was like, okay, we're gonna start to see some really cool decks, and I can start doing some of my weird shenanigans that everyone made fun of me for. Because I like making all those like weird stuff, and everyone's like, no, that's terrible. Like the running joke between me, Matt, and Nate is I like to put red 5 in literally everything, and they're like just see Matt rolls his eyes.
Yeah, he does. And
And Nate's like, no,
he's like, but Double
stop.
Strike is so good. And I'm like, but you have no characters to use it with.
But red 5 is so good, and you get a droid, and it's an awesome set. But I digress.
Well, and it works thematically. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Star Wars as a game. I don't play very many other games. It works thematically. Like, I love the Admiral Piet card that we were talking about earlier, because it's like, oh man, now I can go, oh, don't fail me, you're in command now, Admiral Piet. And like, that's the best part about playing the game. And when I was teaching my friend at work, he's like, wow, all I want to do is, like, every time I play a card, I want to say like the line that goes with this card. Like he put down Han Solo, and he wanted to say something about Han Solo, and that's what really gets me about this game. It's not necessarily the mechanics of playing,
Yeah.
because I don't get a chance to be in the competitive scene, but I love the richness of the game. That's
Yes.
what gets me going.
Yes. Playing competitively is fun because you meet people, you play games at high levels, but
Mhm.
let's not lose sight that we played the game because it's fun, not because
Right.
Hmm.
it has tournaments.
No, no, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, it's like Nick, you seem like you're a little bit more happy with the game now that you have someone to play with. I mean, I'm starting to play with Matt now, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually starting to enjoy this because the human interaction. You get to talk Star Wars, you get to be nerds with each other. I mean, Octagon just doesn't have that same feel, so it's
That's true.
it really kind of colligates. I don't know if that's the right word.
Culminates.
There we go. Culminates. There we go. Shut up. Yeah, I know. It really allows everyone to really just kind of enjoy themselves. I mean, I know when we did our regional here in Ohio, like that was the most fun I've ever had in a long time in terms of socializing with people. I mean, I lost pretty horribly, but I mean, you know what? I had fun. I actually got pretty upset when I got home, but that's okay. I don't like losing. I don't like it's just. I mean, funny story on that. My wife doesn't like losing either, so I have to let her win at Mario Kart, or else I get thrown out the window. It's scary.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's scary.
First story window, at least, right?
Yeah, well, no, the Wii's on the second story, so it could be the second story. So you never know.
Defenestration.
I still need to go get Mario Kart 8. We'll have to once I get it, have you guys over.
I need to. I still need to get a Wii U. Is what I need to get, but I'm hoping to get the Wii U Mario Kart 8 bundle. So
there you go.
That's what I want.
I mean, it has Mario Kart 8, and it will have Smash Brothers, and that's
all you
about
need.
it.
I was hoping to get a Wii U before the end of this month because you got a free game download on the store, so I was going to get that and then be able to get like Pikmin 3 or something. But my new job doesn't start until 2 weeks from now, so I'm like, dang it. No, but that's okay.
So close.
Yeah, but all right, guys. We're gonna wrap up the show because we usually only go about an hour, and I do appreciate you all viewing and watching the live show. It was kind of a new format for us. It's a little bit different. I'm still working on the overlay. Not 100% happy with it, but any type of feedback is definitely appreciated. Hit us up on Twitter at Table Flip Show or Facebook /Table Flip Podcast. I'm going to try and change those to make sure they're all the same across the board. But if you guys have any topics for the show or anything, just hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll have them ready for next in 2 weeks, 2 week show. But podcast will be up in a couple days and all that fun stuff. But thank you to Nick and Matt for sticking around and having some fun.
I will try to figure out my lighting here. When I look at Skype, I am not near as dark as I'm showing up on Twitch. So
I'll figure that
we'll
out.
mess with it.
We'll mess
I'll put a
with it.
lamp on top of my desk or something.
There we go. A Chewbacca lamp. There we go. That works.
There you go.
All right, guys. Yeah, well, God bless. May the Force be with you, and thank you guys very much for watching. See ya.